Oh, there you are. Hey guys, how are ya? Okay, now this is going to be a follow-up to that last video I put up. That amplifier. It got down to I was able to use only one HDMI lead input, and that was it. I couldn't do anything else. And how much longer is that going to last? Constantly in and out, it's not going to last. So what happened was I got things fixed, and I'll show you how I managed to fix it. Okay, I managed to fix it like this. Screw it. New amplifier, the new Yamaha RX A6. Now this is one of the flagship models. There is one model above this. The only difference in the model above this is it's got channels 10 and 11. 10 and 11 powered. This is an 11 channel. It says 9, but it's actually 11 channel, but the other two channels you have to power them. I don't have those other two channels here. I've got my 5 surrounds, my 4 overheads, 4 subs, and honestly, I mean, you know, I've got me Blu-rays and everything there. I've got no room to put any more speakers, but I could if I wanted to. Anyway, let's unbox this thing. Now I'm already ready to go, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I know where each speaker is. They're just got to come out and go into the back of that. Same with the HDMI, same with the plugs for the subs. Now I'm not getting rid of this because with only one HDMI input working, no one's going to want it. I'd be lucky to get 50 bucks for it. And like this thing was $3.5 grand when I bought it. So I might see if I can still utilize it and use it in some way. But I'm going to open this box, put the amp over here, transfer the plugs and everything over, so that should be an easy fix. I should not have said that because this won't be easy. Well, tell you what, today was at work. I was able to leave work early so I could race down before they shut to pick this up, and I left work at about 4 o'clock. It's now 8 o'clock. So plugging it all in and watching a movie tonight's out of the question. By the time this is done, it'll be 9 or so o'clock, whatever. But I'll be able to thump the hell out of it tomorrow. This thing is actually more powerful than that one as well. This is 150 watts per channel, so it states. I'll tell you what, picking it up, it weighed a ton. The guy told me, he goes, be careful, it is really heavy. I'm like, yeah, I picked up heavy amps before. I picked it up, I'm like, oh shit! So it's heavy, it's really heavy. But that just means good quality. All right, let's get around to, I'm gonna make myself a drink because today's my Friday. And do that, then we'll slip. Okay, you've seen me do this before. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer. There we go. And have this. Let's get moving. Okay, before we proceed, now I'm pretty damn sure what happened with that other amp was a major power surge went through the whole house, and that's what affected that. It basically has blown out the HDMI board on the back of the amp. Because remember, all the power, I told you if you watched the last video, all the power in the house went out. And that was the only thing that got damaged. So I went and got this. It is a power surge plug. So in other words, if the power surge happens again, hello Anthony. So the power, if it happens again, this should stop anything like that. I should even get a power surge power board as well and put this into the power board to prevent anything happening. So,
already have a surge protector power?
No, I didn't. I just had a basic normal power board like a complete idiot that I am. Which I should have used this one. If you look over here, it's a rather expensive power board there. That's got everything inbuilt in that. Instead I used that for all this gear here. So that was done very much the wrong way. So, yeah. Anyone out there? Get something like this for your amps. Time for the unveiling. It's knife and shit.
Don't you have a box cutter from work?
That thing would be even worse. Ooh, monitor in the way. Okay, power lead, you know, to give you power. Some wonderful reading material, you know, in case you're on the toot and you want to have a read. This is obviously the lead for the calibration. I don't think I need that. I know what calibration I want. I don't pick what it does. I do my own thing. Okay, remote. Now this is going to be confusing for me because this is going to look like the same remote as the other one from the other amp. Okay, the back's different. Where's the other remote? Oh no, it's not. Shit. Alright, one looks more worn out than the other, but look, I don't want to go getting these bloody things mixed up. So that's the new one anyway. So yeah, the remotes, yeah, they're the same. They haven't changed the remotes. The remotes are the same. So anyway, remote, I'll pop over here. That would be for that's the antenna. Look at that. She's only about 3 of these things. So you do the collaboration of the, you know, the speakers and all that. That's a worry. Why is that broken? That shouldn't be broken. Okay, so I get these out. Get this out. Look, I found the batteries. Look at that. Why am I doing a southern accent? Batteries. Alright, now I might go get Anthony because when I pick this up, as I said, this thing weighs a ton. So I'll get him I'll lift this and I'll get him to move the box. Okay, he's busy attending to the animals, so I put this on the floor. Let's go to lift it and put it up here on the computer desk. Oof. Man, there's a bit of weight there. Alright, oh yeah. Let's have a look. Ah, pretty as a picture. That's beautiful. Ooh, wonderful. I like the Aventage logo. The big knob's got me. I don't know. You like big knobs? That's a big knob. And that's to select your inputs, and I think you push it, and that selects your inputs. I just noticed here, the antennas, the other amp I had to plug the antennas in myself, but the antennas, they're already attached to the back. Alright, so I'll get it over here on the bench, face the back here, or forwards, so I can start transplanting everything. Boy, is that heavy. Let's have a look at the back. There we go. That's the back. Thing is, I use banana plugs. I've got to be able to pop these things out before I can plug the plugs in. Okay. Now, last time I did this, I used a paper clip. But this thing, I just tested it and it works. So basically, goes in, grabs a little plastic bit, pops out. This is just so you can get your banana plugs in. So, I really don't like doing this at all, I tell ya. It will come, it will come. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll go along and I'll pop these out, just so I can get the speakers plugged in. Okay, well, as you can see here, there they are there, work like a treat. They popped out, so that's all good. So now it's time to start changing the plugs around. Okay, well, first up, I'm going to take the sub leads. So we have here, we've got sub front. Oh fuck, I need my glasses. God damn it. I hate that I need these. Right here, the here is all your pre-outs. If you had external amps, one of those big ass friggin' amps where you want to power, extra power, but I don't need all that. All I need is a sub out. So you got front sub there, rear sub there. Now over here, what do we got? That would be surround. Okay, what I'm changing now is the HDMI leads for the TV and the projector. So, what was that at number 2? So this one's for the TV. And that one's for the projector. What I'm already creating a spaghetti mess. Got this lead here, this is just for the CD player. Yes, I still use CD players just like I still use vinyl. In reference, if I go to look back at this video, it went into audio 2. So, message to me, audio 2. Okay, we'll have a side-by-side look. That's the old one, which is not even really that old, not really. Over to the new pretty shiny one. Now everything I've seen online, this front panel here is an absolute finger magnet. So you touch it, your fingerprints are going to come up everywhere, so it's always going to need a clean if you're touching that. I mean, I've even got marks on this I can see. So apparently this one's a hell of a lot worse. But anyway, get these other HDMI leads in and hopefully nothing will happen. Well, something will happen, but then a good one. When I kept plugging the other amplifier in, that's when it wouldn't power up because I thought it was certain HDMI leads or the laser player or whatever. So I had to plug it in. I hope I see a red light. I got that thingy plugged in. What is it? The surge protector plug. So that's in there. Please don't go bang. We have a red light. I plugged all the HDMI leads in and I would not normally get a red light, I would get nothing. So yeah, the HDMI board in the 2085 definitely got fried and I was left with one HDMI input. Now comes the fun part of the calibration of all the bullshit. Okay, first things first, I get the TV on, turn the amp on, then God, this stupid thing it keeps going into.
Who holds others in contempt.
This is new. It keeps going into Sky News every time I turn the TV on. Shouldn't do that. Okay. Well, this is a lot cleaner, so this is the right remote. Power, main. Well, that's a different on-screen picture than the last one we had. No doubt coming up now, they'll be looking for all the internet shit, and I'm not going to be recording that. I'm not.
Yeah, that's kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep filming while I give so you guys can see our internet do their dad stuff. So we will come back. Okay, so just check for the firmware update. No, I think that is the latest update. The other videos I've seen, they were 1 point something and 1.5. The firmware update here is 2.20, so the firmware has already updated, which is good. All right, got the internet thing on there. Now it's going to start playing in the settings. Oh, and I got to get the turntable. Moving along. It's been, what, 2 days and a bit. And last night, I ran my CD player. The sound was insanely awesome. Vinyl, the turntable sounded great. I don't know why it sounds better with this amp, it just did. And then I watched a movie. Now, it wasn't in Atmos, but whenever I get a new piece of gear or anything like that, I always sit down and I always watch this. Now, Outsiders is not in Atmos. You'd think I would have watched something in Atmos, but I always watch, that. The sound, it was in DDS HD Master, and the overheads, even though it's not Atmos, all the overheads still run. The overheads, the surrounds. Now, I've seen this movie a billion times. I know every sound and everything in this movie. There was new audio I'd never heard before. I'm sitting here, I'm like this, and I'm getting all excited because I'm hearing all this stuff. So that means that amp is doing something amps in the past haven't done. So this thing's amazing. But it also comes down to my settings. If you take it just straight out of the box, you'll like it, but you might not be hugely, that impressed. You got to go into the settings. You got to change the settings how you want, not how anyone on YouTube or anything tells you. You must use the calibration and all that. Yeah, screw that. I'll do my own calibration. Thank you. I know roughly where things are and how I want it to be. I know how I want the levels to be. So what I'll do is I'm going to show you my calibrations, and any audio file out there, you're probably going to disagree with me, but I don't care. It's mine, and I'll set it up my way. Just like you. It's yours. Set it up your way. All right, I'll show you a couple of other things that I had to find on the amp. The display on the front, it just says AI surround. Well, I don't want that. I want it to tell me what audio it's playing, be it Atmos, DDSX, whatever. And then I found some other things in there. There's one thing in there, it shows you what each speaker's doing. I don't know, a little bit poxy, but if you want to be entertained by watching little doodads jump, you can sit there and watch that. You don't have to have it on. A little poxy, I've never seen that before, but I will show you that too. So let's get over and I'll show you. Okay, well, first up, when you power up the amplifier, it will come up with that information. Now, because the 4K player runs, with the HDMI lead, when I plugged it in and went to that input, it automatically went to Panasonic 820, which is exactly what the player is. So it knew what it was. The problem is not that. The problem is that underneath, see where it says Surround AI? Well, you put a movie in there and it'll just stay on that. Now over here, hang on, damn it. Okay, there's a button over here. I might need to put a light on so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the button here on this side, where it turns, it'll change your inputs. As you can see there. Just go back to where I was. Right, back there. And what you need to do is, I'm trying to just use the light. Push the button, DSP program. Turn it, decoder off. Hit enter. Now when I put a disc in there, I think it's an Atmos disc, that will change to Atmos. I'll put one in and show you. Okay, put a disc in, we're just waiting for it now. The reason I'm showing this is because everywhere I looked up on YouTube or whatever, no one explained this, no one showed it, so I thought I'll show it instead. I think this is an Atmos. It's reading the disc. Atmos, Dolby True HD. So, let's get this volume down. Okay. Now another cool thing, if you do it again, hit the button. Some of these I'm not sure what they are, but check that out. Oh, getting a bit close. It's showing what each individual speaker is doing. As I said before, bit poxy, but whatever. You can see what the front, center, surrounds, front presence, rear presence, and the subwoofer 1 and 2 are doing. So that's interesting. I haven't seen, I know I've got a glare on this, sorry about that, but you got a rough idea on what the hell's going on. Now there are other things that this does. I don't know what that's supposed to tell me. The zones, system status, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to tell me. And we're back to the start again, but I like to keep it on that. So just showing you how you can change the front display panel. Okay, let's get into it. Now, you know how on amplifiers and that there's usually wallpaper. Well, that wallpaper you've seen earlier in this video was sort of like a purpley pinky splashy thing. There are 3 different wallpapers you can pick from. The third one's just kind of just a grey screen. The second one is this beautiful looking piano that's got Yamaha written down the bottom. I much prefer this. Okay, I'm going to go into the settings and show you how I set things up and how I get a huge sound. Right, you can see maybe there. Where are we? Basically, I have a couple of speakers at 110 Hertz, a couple at 100, most are at 80. That's normal, so just power assigned, just there is no preamping or anything or like that, or except for the subs. What have we got? My configuration. You can see what that is. Distance. Now the distance is, I'm not 21 feet away, 15 feet away, but I want the sound to slightly go past me. So that sort of increases the speakers to sort of boom past you. Works for me. Levels. I got most of them just cranked up to 10. I got my 2 fronts set at 8. Now audiophiles will say that's not how you do it, but that's how I do it. This is where the magic comes in. The paramedic EQ. You go in here, go into manual, none of the others, and adjust each speaker how you want your EQ to sound. So basically these are my fronts, which I've cranked up the treble, some bass. Here I've pretty much killed the bass on the center. I'm running 4 subs, remember, so I don't need speakers bouncing out the box. The surround left, sort of the mid to the high, I've got it cranked right up on both ends. Them 2 aren't doing anything. Front presence, same thing. And the rear presence is just cranked right up. Subs, sub 1, you can see the majority of guts at the bass, and that, because they're different subs, that just needed more of that sort of frequency of bass, if you know what I mean. What else we got? Let's see. Speaker impedance, you don't want to change that. Most speakers are just at 8 ohms, so if you change your ohmage, you can actually do damage, so don't do that. Then you got the test tone crap. Okay, we'll go over to this side. The tone control, bass and treble, flat out. This YPA, whatever, make sure they're on. I'm not even sure what it does. All I know is it punches it harder when you got that, and the adaptive DRC on, so have them on. The dialogue level, up to 3, dialogue lift, all the way up to 5. That way you have no problem hearing anything, because it uses your front presence as a little bit of center channels as well, and you can hear everything as clear as a bell. That's only if things are out of sync. Enhancement, on. High res, on. Just showing you what I do. Where are we? The volume trims. Crank her up to 6. Extra bass, absolutely. And then you go into the video processing. I play around with the processing. You can either just have it direct or have it processing, which is a lot of screwing around however you want to do it. And you got your on-screen information there that tells you everything that it's doing. So that's wrong. That enhancement should have been on. So there's an enhancement also on the remote down the bottom here. It says enhancement, turn that on. That's if you want to copy what I'm doing. I'm just telling you what works for me and what made it sound absolutely... Why is an enhancer on? Doesn't matter. What makes it sound absolutely incredible. So yeah, that's, I mean, there's a lot more that this thing does, but there's more that there's more than the other amp does. Okay, another thing, when I had using the other amp, I used to have a lot of audio cut out on me, a lot of problems with getting signals and all that, and I used to think it was the cables, and I spent a fortune on HDMI cables. Turns out I didn't need to. It was the amp. The amp gave me a lot of problems over the last few years. Okay, battery died. Yeah, the other amp gave me a lot of problems over the years that I thought was my fault, or I was setting something up wrong. No, there was problems with that from day one. Because with this, I put the shield on and it used to glitch, and you used to have to change the frequency hertz and all that sort of thing to stop that from happening. It didn't do it. Went over to the 4K player, not an issue. Swapping between TV and the projector, oh god, that used to do my head in. You used to have to shut everything down, fire it back up, hope it's going to work. It worked without a hiccup. And even though I watched Outsiders last night, I had that cranked up, and man, it was rocking in here with that movie. So imagine putting on something like Transformers or whatever, which I've got to get around to doing. I want to rewatch some of my favourite stuff because it sounds incredible out of this amplifier. I wouldn't be saying it if it wasn't true. But if you want to blow your head off and all that, get into the settings and do similar to me, or plug and play. You just plug your stuff in and let it go. Alright, well that's it on the Yamaha amp that I had to buy. I was forced to buy because power surge and the other thing kind of shit itself. Alright guys, enjoy yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tomorrow night. Ever seen the movie Evil Dead? I'm going to Evil Dead the musical, and I was lucky enough to get the splatter zone. So I'm going to have to wear a white shirt, that way when I get covered in blood, hey, I might frame the shirt or whatever. But tomorrow night, yeah, Evil Dead. How the hell did they turn Evil Dead into a musical? If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. Anyway, alright, I'll catch you next time. Bye guys.